running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Well, good morning to you. It is Coffee and time right here on WOON AM and FM, Friday morning, February 27th. This is Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning. At the Coffee and table is Dave Richards. Good morning, Dave.
I am. What do you know? Hey, good morning, Joe. Good morning, everybody. Lovely day.
Melissa Murray will be joining us soon, and no Rich Lane today. He can't make it, but we'll have Rich next week.
Well, that's it. I'm not.
But special guest today, Woonsocket Mayor Christopher Beauchamp has joined us at the Coffee and table. How are you, Chris?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Been getting any sleep there, Chris, have we?
It's fun being the mayor, isn't it?
A little bit.
Fun being the mayor,
yeah,
huh?
a little bit.
These are better than others.
Yeah. I want to ask you some questions about that later on.
We're going to get to that in a minute. But first, our first segment sponsor of Coffee and is the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Anything interesting in the inbox, Dave, from the Chamber?
Well, yes, and Lauren Malloy and our friend... let's see, Monica is not here today, Joe.
They wanted to be here, but
in my
storm.
inbox are the regrets that, and this is what's been happening, that things that were supposed to happen on Monday and Tuesday got postponed. Okay, fine. What do you suppose they got postponed to? Friday.
The end of the week.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, we had that with one of the meetings I was at, two of the meetings I was in. I just rescheduled them, and because now people can't make it because they had to reschedule other meetings because of the storm. Well, anyway, that's the way it goes. And the annual celebration is rescheduled to March the 4th. That's probably a good thing. At Bally's in Lincoln, March 10th, we have the Rhode Island FC kickoff luncheon for the soccer team. That's also at Bally's. Cheers to 6 years of the Women's Business Council coming up on March the 24th. The HR Roundtable, a lot of people looking forward to this one. Employer workforce programs and resources available to small businesses. It's virtual. It's on your computer. Don't even have to leave the office. And it's from noon to 1. Nice, quick hour meeting there at lunchtime, and no problems with eating while you're on the meeting. All right, that's coming up on March the 31st. And then next month in April, it's Beyond the Sale, Creating Customers for Life, a nice little workshop that goes on in the morning till noontime. It actually starts at 8:30, goes till noontime. We'll tell you more about those as they get a little bit closer. My point is, all kinds of things going on at the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, and Lauren and Monica will be with us next Friday, right?
Barring any blizzard that
any other
take place.
catastrophes that's going on. Well, that's just great. And we look forward to seeing them then for the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Joe?
All right, Dave, thanks. Quick little reminder, our Business of the Day contest begins Monday.
Yay!
So you keep track of all the businesses we'll be calling out.
Yeah, get out a piece of paper right now.
And, well, not right now.
And make all the lines on it. So
and it's your chance to win a $100.
you have to send that right in.
$75 or $50 gift card. We started up on Monday. But let's get to the mayor right now.
Yeah.
And overall, Mayor, how did the city come through the blizzard, in your opinion?
I think they did a great job. Very difficult storm. Again, credit to Director D'Agostino, Liz Kerrigan, Scott Russo, and two other employees. They all did unbelievable because I was out there on Tuesday night, and then into Wednesday too. They worked 30 hours straight, most of them.
I mean, I don't know how they do it.
30 hours straight. They take breaks because, as Director D'Agostino said, if you sent them home for 2 hours or 3 hours to catch some sleep and some rest, you lose it. You lose the storm, right? So Director D'Agostino and his whole crew, and there were two gentlemen I'd like to mention in particular that worked that 30 hours and then immediately yesterday got on Bobcats to do sidewalks. Brian Cody, Bobby Hunwa. Two dedicated, and they're all dedicated, but they just man up and just keep going no matter what. So it was difficult. I saw trucks getting stuck, like regular pickup trucks were useless with the plow, right? An F-250.
The one that did Kennedy Street was struggling.
Yeah. So you needed bigger equipment, and even the big 6-wheel dumps. They got 2-wheel drive, and they were getting stuck at places too. So we had loaders. And they just kept going around, pulling out people where they got stuck and kept going. You had to go down a lot of the hills. You couldn't go up them no matter what.
Of course.
So it was difficult. And, I was reading about Mayor Picozzi in the paper today from Warwick because he plows streets. Credit to him.
Sure.
But he made a very good point. Everybody thinks, you're in a warm truck, but you're bouncing around, right?
yeah.
You're hitting stuff. You're hitting curb. You're hitting manholes.
Yeah.
It's not an easy ride.
No.
So your back, your legs, your arms. I mean, it's physical. It is very physical. So.
And there's only so many people that can do this kind of job that are trained to do it. You just can't pull
Plus
Joe Schmo off the
licensed to
street.
do it, too.
Especially, when you're spending, upwards of $50,000 to $70,000 on a pickup truck with a plow. You want people to know what they're doing,
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can do some serious damage. So, and even our outside vendors, they were great. They didn't go home. They stayed. Everybody stayed. That's why Woonsocket Streets on Tuesday, you saw blacktop a lot.
Yeah.
On Wednesday,
Oh, yeah.
all the streets. Now we're widening. And, most people, for the most part, were very positive about it. I saw some Facebook comments, but
That's all, you're always going to
listen,
have that.
they
That's
gotta,
what Facebook's for.
they got to widen the streets. So if it rained or the snow melts, you got to get to the catch basins, right?
Yes.
Right.
And if you don't, you'll have a pond in the streets.
Yeah.
So the snow's got to go somewhere. So credit to them, they did an unbelievable job. I think out of the whole state, Woonsocket was probably in the best shape. I was in Providence on Wednesday
They
night.
had it rough.
Wasn't good.
No.
No,
Okay.
I'm glad you said that, because I remember my thoughts as I looked out on Tuesday, and I said, "Hey, nice job! Look at this." And I said, "I don't know what they're whining about down in Providence. What's the deal?"
Yeah.
And then all of the stuff is coming through. How it's the end of the world for us. We can't do anything. The whole place is shut down. I said to well, I understand. I've driven in Providence before. There's a lot of real challenging streets and neighborhoods and stuff like that. And of course, they have this thing in Providence for speed bumps. And that can't be easy when you're plowing snow. Anyway, I mean, it's good during the summertime, and maybe it slows down the traffic, and it should anyway. But I always wondered about that. So, I looked out and I said, I don't know what everybody else is whining about, because we did such a nice job here. And of course, there's always a few exceptions to the rule. But the major roads were all passable, even at the height of the storm.
Yeah, people were good. I got a couple of calls from people, dead-end streets. And I told them, I said, listen, dead-end streets, I'm sorry. They're
You're last.
last on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on Monday night, at the height of the storm, or Sunday night into Monday, like if somebody called the rescue, we followed the rescue to make sure they could get down whatever street.
Yeah.
And, that's how you coordinate. And
Hey, that's smart. I didn't know
It's
that.
preparation. It's making sure all the equipment's ready to go well in advance. We had, I don't think many cars we towed. I think
I was
between
gonna ask
20 and
that.
30, I think, which is very low.
Well, you
Yeah,
had
that's
4
not
days
bad.
notice this time.
So people got the message, and you know what? Having a travel ban for up until yesterday, then the state emergency really helped.
Yeah, well, sure it did. Although I saw a lot of people breaking it. I didn't want to
They
say
did.
anything about
They
it at the
did.
time. There were some people who were being naughty about it. But at the same time, we saw an awful lot of people were observing it. And I looked at the whole parking ban thing, because I listened to the city council meeting, because we broadcast the last city council meeting on Monday before. And I'm listening to Steve, and he's just like beside himself, says, what do you have to do to get people to get the cars off the street during a parking ban? I don't know what you have to do about it, because nobody wants to be mean, but we got to get the cars out of there. I understood that. Well, when it was something on Friday, and I say this, and I hope that Steve D'Agostino takes this as a personal compliment, because I mean it to be that. The guy emailed me personally, said, Dave, do everything you can, will you? Friday, before the storm.
Sure.
And we put it on all the social media, on the website, on the crawl, on the TV, on the radio, every 20 minutes, all the way through. I got complaints over the weekend. Okay, fine, there's a parking ban. It's not till Sunday. What the hell? You know?
It helped.
But
It definitely
I
helped.
hope it did. I hope it did.
definitely helped.
At least so people would talk to other people and say, "Did you hear that annoying thing on the radio?"
Melissa Murray's here. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
Oh, she's got the blue glasses on today.
Well, it's wintertime, right?
Yesterday was
Yeah.
sparkly green.
It was. Thanks for noticing.
What about the people losing power in the city? Anybody
I
complaining
didn't
to
hear
the
from
city hall?
anybody losing
No.
power in
No.
Woonsocket.
I didn't
So
either.
we were in good shape in that way. I did get an email and a text from CEO of Rhode Island Energy. He had told me, if you need anything, call us. I said, thank you very much for reaching out to me. I got brothers and sisters that live in South County. They're still plowing out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Power.
sure they are.
Narragansett was hit real hard. Tiverton, I talked to the town manager yesterday. They got 40-something inches of
Yeah.
snow in Tiverton.
Yeah.
I think they
The
were
further
main.
east you went, the more you got.
So they're still without power.
south
They're
and
still
east.
plowing roads. So, normally the northern part of the state where we are, we'll get the snow,
Yeah.
and they don't. But it was a kind
It
of a
flipped it. It
reversal.
flipped it this
So
time.
all
That's-
these.
That's why Providence and Warwick were saying about how they never got any more this much snow in '78. It's exactly the opposite. Woonsocket got less this time, and
Yeah.
they got more.
Sure.
So all these crews that are coming from out of state, like Vermont, they won't be coming here
They
because
don't need to.
they're not needed here, right?
Correct. So we go on a EMA call on Monday. Every town manager and mayor, they start at Barrington, and unfortunately, Woonsocket's got to wait till the end to say my 2 cents. But I just said appreciate. We're good. We
Yeah.
don't need any equipment.
You must have enjoyed hearing that.
Because
Right.
there was, I forget what town it was. They asked for 12 loaders and 12 trucks. It's like
Ooh,
that's
What,
a nice
that's all-
ask, but
that's
you're
all of
not
them,
getting
isn't it?
all that.
Yeah.
So that's got to be $1 million
We are
worth
grateful.
of equipment.
We are grateful, and the governor did a great job making sure that those guys, Pennsylvania, I think, and Vermont are here, and Warwick and Providence and these places are loving the help because they need it.
Oh, sure.
So
So the DPW, they're attacking the sidewalks now.
it started yesterday.
Okay, and how long do you think it'll take to get to all of them?
They're not going to get to every single sidewalk, right? We still ask people to do what they can. We understand the corners of 7-8 feet of snow. So
Yeah.
Right.
even if you do your sidewalk, you come to a dead end when you're
Right.
walking, right? But maybe just your path to come from the street to your front door, right? That's what we're hoping people do. I think Mendon Road's done, Hamlet Avenue's done. They're working, I think, on all the school areas are basically done. And so they're just going to continue to do main
So
thoroughfares.
it's likely we'll have school on Monday in Woonsocket.
There will be school probably, yes, on Monday. Yep.
I know Paul Bourget was telling me on the telephone that he says by the end of Tuesday, we were pretty set on all of the school properties. Wednesday, we could have had school if it weren't for the sidewalks. He says, but the city's got no place to put the snow. It's so slow now. And then we were talking about the old days, how you used to be able to just grab it and throw it in the river, and you can't do that anymore. It's against the law.
No, it's funny you say that because we did get something from DEM that would allow you to throw it in waterways. Now, I don't know if that's the ocean, whatever.
Well, the Blackstone
as long
River.
as it's a turbulent water, right? Like
Yeah.
tide, right? So it's not sitting there. We wouldn't throw it in the river. Steve didn't think it was a good idea. Because I asked the question, and they said it has to be flowing water so it doesn't sit there and accumulate.
And the
or block
Blackstone is
something.
ice covered quite a bit
So-
now. Yeah.
So where are you trucking the snow to then?
We dump it at
Laundry Street?
no.
You still
we
use
dump
that?
it behind the wastewater treatment plant. We own 6 acres back there where our curb yard is, and gravel and loom is back there.
Yeah.
Got plenty of room. That's where
Okay.
they're dumping it.
How about the Dion track? Could you throw it on the
Geez, yeah,
field?
but then you got to take it off.
Throw it
Well,
on the Dion track.
Well, not the track, but the field part, and just wait for it to melt.
Better not hear Steve D'Agostino say that. You'd be in trouble, Joe.
Oh, well, I'm just asking.
No,
I'm coming up
the
with
park,
ideas.
The park, they got plenty of room. They got 6
Okay.
acres. We could throw snow there for 3 more months.
Okay,
So
all
we
right.
got plenty of room.
As long as you're all set there. Speaking of the Dion track, what are they building?
They're building
next to
the
it.
community center.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where that's going.
Don't
Okay.
you remember we
Learning
had
Center.
we had the special
Yeah.
broadcast when they did the groundbreaking?
Yeah.
Remember
Okay.
that?
And
All
they got 1/4, a little bit more than 1/4 of the footings poured. They poured them last week, unfortunately.
And then it
They're
snowed.
going to be back out. We did clean the snow all the way
Oh.
around the building yesterday and today.
Don't
So
they
they'll
have
be
to
back
have,
out Monday.
don't they have to have a special formulation of the concrete when it gets down into the teens
Yeah, there's a
at night?
retarder you put in the concrete, so it's basically a heating element into the concrete. But they have heated blankets. They have a heating machine with coils,
Sure.
so the concrete cures at
Well,
the
that's
proper.
good. Because
proper
concrete
temperature.
itself generates heat when it
Yeah.
cures, but not enough.
28 days it needs to cure.
All right, before we take a break here on the Coffee and program, one note been called in so far, 766-1240 to the mayor. Very important is the dog shelter dedication still on for Saturday.
It
Yes,
is
tomorrow
At 11
o'clock,
a.m.
right?
It's tomorrow morning. Steve D'Agostino is there making sure the parking lot's clean and cleared and ready to go. They got propane. We're all set.
All right, very good. All right, we're going to take a break in the Coffee and program. But Dave, what's going on there with the chamber that you want to tell us about?
Well, our second message is simply the telephone number to remind you to call after 9 o'clock this morning. Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, 334-1000. Joe?
More Coffee and coming your way. Stay tuned.
ON Radio. When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Radio.
Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us on this Friday morning. Joe Callahan here, along with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, and Woonsocket Mayor Chris Beauchamp is here as well. As you drive around the city, Chris, you still, at least I do, notice a lot of fire hydrants are still snowed in. Does the fire department go out and shovel them out? Although they don't have to, but
They do.
They
I
are.
see them out there every day. I saw
They're working on them. I saw them.
Casey
Okay.
shoveling out
fire
yesterday.
hydrants. Okay.
Yep.
I actually have a couple of young men that we're going to pay them a few dollars, and they're going to help us clean some hydrants tomorrow.
That's great.
And they wanted to volunteer. I said, listen, we'll give you a little coffee money, whatever.
We had a story this past week. City down in New Jersey said, okay, kids, teenagers, contest from now until a couple days, beginning of March. Shovel out as many fire hydrants as you can. Obviously, you document it. You photograph it and tell you where the address is. Top 5 get a $50 gift card.
It's a great idea.
$250. And I said, what a great idea. Have the kids go around and shovel out
I
as
want in
many
my
fire
back
hydrants.
pocket for the next storm.
Well, something to keep in mind. Well, for next year, really.
Yeah.
just to keep in mind, but just a great idea
Hopefully
there.
for next year, right?
Well, we don't want any more
We don't
blizzards
need any more.
for this year. City Hall had to close, obviously, but they're open now, right? If
We
anybody
open
needs
on
to do
Wednesday.
business. Yep.
99% of the people were in on Wednesday. A couple of people couldn't get out of their driveways, but opened on Wednesday, Thursday, and today, obviously. Yes.
Unlike the blizzard of '78, you didn't see people on snowmobiles trucking people around this time around.
No.
Well, that's
the good old
because of
days.
the notice we had and the fact that people
All
kept
right.
the cars off the road.
No. They would, unless they were transporting vital people to a hospital. Like, I shoveled some woman out that had to get to a nursing home.
Yeah.
She's 68 years old. There's no way she was getting out. And Director Gino Gillette and I went over there and helped her out. It wasn't a big job, but we got our shovels and we went over and helped, and she was very grateful.
That's nice.
And everything stayed okay at the hospital, up and running. No issues over there that they
I
let
called
the
Mike
city know about.
Souza on Monday and said, if anything you need, you just let us know. He said, we're in good shape, but appreciate the call. It's, as I said, or maybe I didn't, but I will mention it. It's about preparation. That's what Director D'Agostino's, why our roads are in such good shape on Wednesday, is about the prep work. Making sure everybody knows the schedule, everybody knows what routes they're going to be on, everybody knows what truck they're going to be in. The brine started before. And
course.
then having the police department out there 4 or 5 hours before the snow hits, I think even earlier than that, to get a jump on it. And I got to credit the
Enforcing,
police
yeah.
department also, because you know what? It's not the greatest job either at 2 and 3 in the morning, towing cars, right? When it's 13 degrees and the wind's blowing.
And the car's covered in snow.
Yeah, well, we try to get there before the snow
Before the snow hit,
comes.
okay.
But yeah, they're out there too when it starts snowing. So I credit the police department, all public safety. Tremendous job, and it's a team effort.
All right, let's see. Now, what about? I hate to bring this up, but what about budget for snow removal stuff?
You already had to dip into the piggy
What
bank for the
budget?
first
Yeah,
one.
okay, there isn't any money.
We gave them $200,000 2 weeks ago. We're going to give them probably another $250,000. We'll have to find.
Yeah.
That's what this storm's going to cost.
Where do you find it from?
All cities and towns are like blown their budget, right?
So
Right.
the only benefit of a storm of this magnitude is the state of emergency, where we
Okay.
can get reimbursed federal dollars. It's going
Okay.
to take a while,
yeah.
but we track everything we spent. We've done this before. Chief Sartre, when the fire chief was here, he coordinated with Tim Walsh, the EMA director. They're going to help us kind of do that same practice, if you will. So Chief Cahill will get together with these guys and we'll figure out how they did it before so we can duplicate that effort. It's going to take a while, but this storm in particular, we have to pay for it up front, but I believe
Sure.
we'll be reimbursed.
Okay. Well,
So hopefully it's just going to be juggling funds.
Yeah.
shift it
okay.
around, right?
Pay your
Well, you
tax
hope
bill,
so.
your water bill, and your sewer bill so we can have some extra income.
Yeah.
In terms of brine and salt and sand, you still got enough
We're in good shape.
in case something else happens?
That's another key point. I'm glad you said that, Joe, because the salt company where we get salt from, Steve called her up on Saturday morning, I believe at 7 or 8 o'clock, and said, we need 300 tons of salt. They said, we'll have it there by noontime. That doesn't happen
Wow.
all the
Oh,
time.
gosh.
Yeah.
And he gave me her number, and I called her and thanked her personally because she doesn't know who I am. But
Right.
I just want to say we don't forget stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Other cities and towns didn't have salt because the DOT, the state took all the reserve
Okay.
because they got to get the highways open, right?
Right.
First. So that's an issue too. If you don't have a supply, and you don't have a credible supply where you can get it at a drop of a notice. That was key, and they delivered it on Saturday. I saw them deliver it, and we were ready.
All right. Great.
And by the way, Mayor, the practice of brining that Steve instituted here in the city, which seems to be so successful, can go a long way toward that because you're ordering the salt up a little ahead of where you need, because you've got to brine those. You've got to produce the brine. So you need that salt a couple of days earlier than you have to spread it down. So that timetable being moved up helped us get ahead of other communities that didn't think that way.
And the brine does such a tremendous job for the pre-treatment, right? I was in Providence on Wednesday night, and
So was Melissa.
the roads were
was-
like
they were
6-inch
not- yeah.
ruts everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
I think they use brine too, but their streets are different than
do, but
Woonsocket. There's many more, but
Yeah, they
you can
do,
tell
but
the
not.
difference.
Yeah, you can tell the difference. They don't treat it as well, I think, as we do.
I think more cities and towns are using brine now because they see how effective it can be for pre-treatment. And, credit to Director D'Agostino again for having that forethought to look at something. And they manufactured that whole thing at the city of Woonsocket on their own.
They do, yeah.
And they did a great job.
If anybody's still think they're stuck or need to be plowed out, should they call the city and say, "Hey, I'm
They
still
can
stuck here"?
call Public Works or they can call my office, talk to my administrative aide, Sue Golan, and we'll get them the help they need.
Okay. All right. What else is new in the city?
What else
yeah.
is new?
You got another council meeting coming up. What's on the?
did.
What are you pushing for?
So the council meeting coming up, I'm basically focused, my main focus right now is the audits, right?
Yeah,
Getting
of
the
course.
audits done.
But we've made great progress on it since you've been mayor.
We have, and credit to the finance team, but that's what I think about every day. I meet with my finance director every day. About 10 o'clock, we have a little meeting, just me and him, talking about, the day's tasks, what we're doing, where we are. And then I meet up with the school department, finance director and Pat McGee. We talk once a week about their finances because we're intertwined, right?
Yeah, last I heard, we were waiting for information from the school department to finish an audit, right?
School department's been very proactive in getting their stuff done. So I think 24 audits just basically done. We're presenting it to the auditors. We're working on the 25 audit, Woonsocket. On the city side, we're doing the reconciling now. We're in pretty good shape with 25, but we still got some work to do. So does the school department. So, 23 has already been done, put on online so people can see it. 24 is in progress, pretty much close to being done to be sent to the auditors, and then we're working on 25. So we'll be 1 year behind, if you will. 26 is the next thing.
Well,
Better than being 4
that's
years
progress.
behind.
Yeah, that's right.
A
oh,
lot
yeah, well,
of
how can you do
progress.
anything? Because you might have things buried that you don't even know. You're working with numbers you can't
that
trust.
predate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're working with numbers you can't trust.
So that, and then the other big issue on my mind, it's always the residents and the taxpayers, what they can absorb and what they can afford. But the wastewater treatment plant is an ongoing factor that we're still
Yeah,
in
there was an article
negotiations.
on that, wasn't there, in the Rhode Island Monthly?
There was.
It wasn't
Yep.
so favorable, but it showed that that Woonsocket was trying to do something about it. We're trying to make some, but it also overshadowed the larger problem that was explained to us one time by Steve D'Agostino. Okay, great. You don't want it? Fine, shut it down. Guess what happens next?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
There's an issue where everybody's stuff that comes here, if we just shut that plant down tomorrow, which I'd love to do, we won't be allowed to do it.
That's right. Because
it's
too
just
many
not-
people will be harmed too badly.
It'll be a real catastrophe. If you think the blizzard was a catastrophe, that would be even worse.
Yeah, because if you can't deal with your solid waste,
Yeah.
that's a serious health issue.
So we're making steady progress negotiating with NBC about potentially taking over the plant and going from there. And we had a meeting last night.
Are they the only people that we can deal with? It seemed like they're the only people who are interested.
They're probably the biggest.
That's the Narragansett Bay Commission, I should explain for the
Yeah,
audience.
They're the biggest, and they handle 60% of the state now.
Yeah.
So it seems like
What's
a good
one more?
fit. It seems like a good fit, but we got a devil's in the details.
Well, they're not standing in
Right.
line to take over your sewage treatment plant,
No.
right?
Well, I'm sure they're not.
But and they've got the experience to do it. And let's face it, after they take it over, now we've got to deal with them to take our solid waste too. So picking a partner, you don't have too many choices there. But
There's a lot of factors involved, but we're working diligently on it. We had a meeting last night, closed door meeting about that with the city council.
so just so we can clarify all of this, the end game, the way you're seeing it, is that up to now we've run our own sewage treatment plant. And we got a deal on disposing of the solid waste because we hosted Synagro. It's now Synagro. It was another company before. And we have a management company contracted to run the sewage treatment plant, so we don't have to use city employees to do it because they have expertise and resources the city doesn't. And of course, Synagro is a separate company too. So for the incinerator. The incinerator takes in from many different communities all over the place. I forgot what they said, 30 different communities.
Yeah, it's a little less than that, but yes.
A little less, somewhere in that vicinity. So anyway, so your end game would be that the incinerator is shut down and it's done somewhere else. Did I get that right?
Correct.
And our sewage treatment plant, you're going to ask the Narragansett Bay Commission to take it over and run it instead of Jacob, who's running it now. Do I have all that right?
Potentially, yes.
All right, and when we're done, it's going to cost a little more because we're not going to get the benefit of the hosting fees that we were getting.
Treating our waste, our solid waste, the host fee.
But when it's done, the likelihood of the smell leaving the city is high. Is that what you're saying?
The goal is to get rid of the Synagro plant, which is the sludge burning plant. That's
Right.
the goal. And that's coming. I don't have a date certain yet, but we're working on that. That is my goal. That's the council's goal, to create a better quality of life for everybody in the city that smells the smell.
Yeah.
And my argument to, DEM and the Attorney General who sued us is like, you guys come here for a summer and sit out in somebody's backyard.
Right.
See how long
Yeah.
you can stay, right?
That's
Right.
I mean, enough is enough.
People who can't have their windows open in the summer because they live there.
We
Yeah.
understand because we live here, right? And I've said this to people. I live in the North End. Sometimes I smell it over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
It's 3.5 miles away.
Yeah.
So,
All through the social district with the right conditions.
Yep.
Yeah.
and it's under Director D'Agostino's purview to organize that and run it right now.
Right.
Of all the other things he does, that would be such a lift off somebody's shoulders, whether it's Steve or somebody else, if somebody else is taking over the sewer treatment plant. So
Let somebody else take a turn.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody who has got a place that they can physically locate it further away from their population, a larger community with a lot of land and trees. It's distance, really, because the smell does dissipate after a while, but you've got to have a buffer zone around it, and we've got it right in the heart of the city.
correct.
How about Barrington?
All right, come
Just
on.
kidding.
Called them, they didn't
said
pick up
no.
the phone.
All right.
Right.
All right, let's take a break here in the Coffee and program, but more coming your way. Time for the forecast, being brought to you by the Mine Safety and Health Administration.
Sunny skies today with a high of 45 degrees and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 22.
Saturday's weather, sunshine and 52 degrees. Saturday night, partly cloudy, 27. Sunday, there's a 50% chance of snow, mainly in the morning. Mostly cloudy skies all day with a high of 36 degrees, but not much snow. New snow accumulation is being predicted at less than a half an inch possible. Sunday night, 20% chance of some snow before 8 p.m. It clears out, mostly clear skies all night and a low around 10. Monday, mostly sunny, high of 25. Tuesday, a 30% chance of rain. Partly sunny skies after that with a high of 36 degrees. Tuesday night, 60% chance of snow is likely. No big accumulations are being predicted. Cloudy skies with a low of 27. Wednesday, good chance of rain. Then, mostly sunny with a high of 47 degrees. Thursday, chance of rain, cloudy, and a high near 46.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have sunny skies, and we're under the freezing mark. We're at 27 degrees. The Mine Safety and Health Administration reminds you that mining accidents and injuries are preventable. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Take time, save lives. Visit MSHA.gov.
In a world where good food, friendly faces, and unforgettable memories collide, there's one place that stands out from the rest. Gators Pub is proudly celebrating 35 years of excellence in North Smithfield. Join us at Gators Pub, where every visit feels like coming home. Our secret to success? It's simple. Our super friendly staff and mouth-watering dishes prepared fresh daily by our talented chefs. Sink your teeth into our delectable lunch specials from Monday through Thursday and savor complimentary soup to warm your soul. Enjoy the game day excitement with multiple TVs showing the Boston Red Sox while indulging in classic appetizers like our famous potato skins and pita chips. Looking for a lively atmosphere to watch volleyball games? Look no further. Pair it with our juicy burgers or the latest cocktail creations to elevate your experience. Gators Pub, your ultimate destination for good times and great food. Come and celebrate with us at Gators Pub on Route 102, just a mile before Wright's Chicken Farm. Make every moment memorable at Gators Pub, where good friends and great flavors meet. Remember, there are no strangers at Gators Pub, just good friends you haven't met yet.
Integrity, trust, service. 3 words that sum up what you can expect from the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road in Cumberland, Rhode Island. Established in 1987, we've been helping local investors to build wealth and guide them through their golden years of retirement using quality stocks of companies that you know, many of which pay quarterly dividends. We also use investment-grade bonds and low-cost exchange-traded funds. To find out more about our services and for a quality conservative approach to investing, call us at 765-8880. Integrity, trust, service. The Carew Investment Group. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
It's Coffee In on ON Radio. Thank you for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Woonsocket Mayor Chris Beauchamp and Melissa Murray and Dave Richards, who's got the Valley Breezes in his hand, and he's going to tell us what's going on because they're the sponsor of this segment of Coffee In.
You betcha. And on the Cumberland Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze, I have holding in my hand right here. Big story on the top, of course. Ethan Shorey talks about the storm for the ages, Pummels, Rhode Island, and a couple of pictures in there for you. Of course, the town administrator of Phil Gould, your counterpart down in Lincoln there, Chris, says he's proud of Lincoln's blizzard response, and Ethan Shorey also has a story about the longtime letter carrier urging better clearing around mailboxes. Turning to the North Smithfield, Woonsocket, and Blackstone edition of the Valley Breeze. Ethan's story is repeated here too, because it's a Northern Rhode Island story really. And then Mara Hagen-Spath, their new reporter at the Breeze, has a story about a North Smithfield man recalling subduing a shooter at the ice rink in Pawtucket.
Michael Black,
at the Lynch Arena. Now, we heard all about that. They've got a full story on here. And we got the news this morning, very sad, that the grandfather passed away on Wednesday at the hospital about that. So that's quite something. And then, if you look below the fold,
hey, there's a picture of Chris.
There's a picture of Mayor Chris Beauchamp of the Valley Breeze this week.
No, that's you.
And he's quoted in the story from Mara Hagen-Spath again about Woonsocket opening up the animal shelter tomorrow. And he talks about shared service. Read about it in the Valley Breeze, along with some great ads from local businesses. The Valley Breeze is free where you shop every Thursday. Joe?
Does that mean you'll be taking in animals from other towns? Is that what the shared services?
Potentially. We're talking to North Smithfield about, their lack of an adequate animal shelter. They have something, but it's less than desirable, kind of like we were in that position. So
We're going to be a good neighbor.
Yeah, and Scott Gibbs, I've known the town administrator for a while, is a great guy. So anytime we can help each other, we're going to help each other.
If I recall, he was the father of the Thunder Mist Hydro Plant, going way back to the 70s and 80s.
Scott Gibbs?
Scott Gibbs, yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Didn't know
he
that.
did a lot of work around here.
I know Highland Industrial Park.
Yeah, and all kinds of different capacities. I think he was at the forefront of the hydro plant there at River Falls.
I wouldn't doubt it. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And what about the town of Cumberland? Do they have something for their animals?
They do. They do. But, we'll reach out to people once we get settled in and see if there's any help, needs, or whatever. But I know you guys will be there tomorrow representing. It's a
That's
beautiful
right.
facility. As I talked about in the article, came out very nice, under budget, on time. Don't hear that all
Bring
the time.
the cameras, make sure it gets up on the TV.
So we're looking forward to tomorrow for the Albert G. Brian Animal Shelter.
I'm glad you named it after Al, too.
Sure.
Serious.
That was the intent the whole way, and as he said, what do you call him? The big guy, the dog he had, Al.
Oh, I know. That the dog.
was-
The German Shepherd.
Yeah, the German Shepherd, the big guy. I think it was what he called the dog. The big
I don't
guy's
remember
with
his
me.
name, but I'm sure someone does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to it.
Maybe that was his name.
Maybe. Yeah.
We'll just keep it at that.
How are we doing on housing there? I know that at the state level, everybody's buzzing about creating new housing and stuff like that. Of course, we're kind of land poor over here, so there's just so many new houses that you can make here. And we're actually starting to run out of mills to convert to housing, too, because they've either burned down or they've already been converted. We have the beautiful mills down there at River
Mill
Falls.
Race. Yeah.
Mill Race, yeah. So we're making an awful lot of progress that way here in Woonsocket. Are we ahead of the other towns? It looks like we are.
I won't say we're ahead. I think we're on par for creating more housing and doing more things, as you just mentioned with NeighborWorks with the Mill Race project. Melissa and I were at the ribbon cutting. It was very impressive. I mean,
It's a really nice,
Yeah,
nice location and like beautiful new apartments, modern, but keeping with the imprint of the old mill. Like they kept the floors for the most part,
history
right?
of the mill,
Yeah,
right?
you can see where the machinery was in some places, but it's
Cool.
like really cool. Yeah.
Wow.
old granite sills are still there. Some wood is still there. That it's similar to Vernon Mills when they redeveloped that one portion of it. I took a tour a couple of weeks ago. So that segues into the housing because the Vernon Mills project is moving forward,
Great.
Good.
which is good.
Great.
It's been slow.
We had actually a meeting yesterday about the
Did they
middle
change
school.
owners? Did they change owners? Is that
No.
What slowed
but
it down now?
NeighborWorks, Joe Garlick is involved now.
yeah?
So
Well, that's going to
that's
make a difference.
That's a positive.
But I'll just say my own opinion on this. I can't prove it at all, but when Joe Garlick gets in, it may take a few years, but it's going to happen, and it's going to be first class.
It certainly is. So the housing stuff is moving forward. The call building they got their demo permits and they got their building permit. They're moving forward with developing the call building to
exciting.
commercial on the first floor with residential above. So things are happening.
And the
Yes, sir.
historic people are okay with this, with doing the call building?
Yeah. The only building that's still, a little bit of frustration is 162 Main Street across from City Hall.
Yeah.
But we've had some recent conversations that seem to be going in a more positive direction. I'll just leave it
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah, that's probably the more professional way to say it.
Going
Myself,
in a positive direction?
yeah, myself, I've always had the opinion that sometimes the owners were blowing smoke. That was my personal opinion, but the mayor's probably said it better. And there's one other building that's very conspicuous that we're waiting to see. We all knew when it got saved. That's over near the middle schools, that old mill office building. We knew that when it was saved, at the behest of the historical folks, that you can save it if you want, but Mother Nature is going to have its way with it unless someone wants to lose enough money to take it over. It's going to just get worse and worse. Is anybody at all interested in fixing that?
There actually is. She's actually a reverend in the city. She's been into the building 4 or 5 times. She's developed a plan to do some development in there. I don't think it's housing. It's more of working with the youth and developing this so youth have a place to go. And she's very interested in it.
Like we used to have the Mikasa Youth Center.
True.
Yeah.
And I've met with her several times. It's a big undertaking. I didn't think she knew how much of an undertaking until we started talking weeks after weeks. I occasionally meet her at Dunkin' Donuts and we have a talk about it. So I'm planning to meet with her in the next week or so to get an update.
Well, at least somebody's interested.
There's interest, yes.
At least somebody's interested because we didn't have that before.
Yep.
Boy, that's new storage unit that they're building on Hamlin Avenue is going to be huge.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be so large.
Is it 3 stories or is it 4?
I don't know.
3.
It's 3.
Okay, they're working on the 3rd floor now.
Yeah.
After they shovel it out.
They've been working all winter there.
Yeah.
Like the snowstorm, they didn't work, but they were shoveling snow off the roof yesterday to stop putting up the metal framing on the 3rd floor. So, yeah, and it looks kind of ugly now, but when it's built, it's going to be something that you drive by and you think it's just another office building.
Yeah.
So,
and this is the way the things are getting to be these days, where someone says, geez, when's this all going to stop? You put in all this self-storage. I said, it'll stop when they're not needed anymore because people with money won't make them if they're going to lay open and not be rented. As long as people are renting them and they can fill them up, there is a market for them. And so it's their money. Let them do what they're going to do.
It's the housing crisis, right? That coincides with
Absolutely.
that because people don't have storage if they got a
Right.
1 or 2 bedroom apartment.
Or if
That's
they
all
have
can
to, or
afford.
if they have to double up, right? Yeah.
Mayor, do you have an update on the new grocery store? I mean, the sign's on the building says coming in the spring.
Yeah, they've gotten their permits in place with us now. Ted Isabel, the building officials, are overlooking their permits as far as the rehab inside. They're doing all demo now. They're full steam ahead. So, I hope. I'm gonna say probably
May?
midsummer, June-ish.
Okay.
I hope to see an opening, but they're going full steam ahead.
And there's
nice-
work being done. I never seen any cars
they're
over
in
there, but
they're in there demoing,
They
doing
are.
all the layout.
Okay.
The plans, I think, were just submitted, final plans about a week or so ago. And of course, our building department's understaffed, so we got one guy looking at all these plans. That's Ted. It takes time. That's a big project. He's
Sure.
looking at the school project over here on Barry Field.
Of course.
The community center. There's a lot of plans on his desk that, it's not 1 or 2 pages. It's hundreds of pages.
Yeah, and we heard of the council meeting of but everybody knew the traffic was going to be a nightmare when the school went in, at least twice a day on weekdays. Everybody knew that when we made the decision to put it there. But there's sometimes where you just can't stop progress for a possible problem, even if you're pretty sure of it. But we've got people working on what the problem is going to be. The study's been done now. They defined the problem, and there's going to be some progress there to ease the problem that we have now. I mean, heck, if you're going out there, if I have to go to North Smithfield or Slatersville or something like that, I get caught on it from Park Avenue, and it gets to be pretty difficult. But they've got a plan for what to do with that road and the intersections on both ends, right?
Yeah, we met with Scott Gibbs, Town of North Smithfield, and his people in my office with DOT, school department, RIDE, everybody. And we're coming up with a game plan. Plans are being developed by the school department to come up with the engineering that we think what needs to be done. And again, Director D'Agostino was pivotal in offering his advice because he lived across the street on Summit, I believe, for 10 years.
Yeah, so he knows.
He knows where the light should go and not go. And so we've made some alterations with everybody's input, and we'll have a game plan. The only thing we don't know is how it's going to be funded, but
Well, yeah.
that's always an issue.
Yeah, it is. If you need a new roof, you don't worry about funding. You got to get a new roof. You find the funding. I get it.
That's right.
But Chris, now we see the clock over here. Can't thank you enough for taking your time to be with us today. But I know you have to leave early.
Appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody.
thanks for coming in, Mayor. This portion of the Coffee and program has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Hey there, Blackstone Valley. Who's got the best burger, the friendliest service, the best spot in town? You decide. The Valley Breeze is bringing back the Voices of the Valley Awards, a community competition where you can nominate and vote for your local favorites to help determine the best businesses, people, and places in our area. Visit valleybreeze.com to learn more and cast your votes. Plus, you could win cash prizes just for participating. That's valleybreeze.com.
This is ON Radio.
Hello, this is Melissa, and here's what's happening in the Valley. Enjoy live music at St. Joe's Vets Saturday, February 28th at 8 p.m. with the return of the Strum Dogs. All are welcome, and there is no cover charge. This takes place at St. Joseph's Veterans Association, 99 Louise Street in Woonsocket. Do you have an event you'd like to share? Email us at events@woonsocketradio.com.
The ON Radio Business of the Day contest starts Monday, March 2nd. Keep track of all the businesses we call out throughout the month of March. Here's your chance to win a $100, $75, or $50 gift card from one of the participating businesses of the day. Business of the Day contest begins Monday, March 2nd.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio. ON Radio.
Coffee and right here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan along with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards is here as well. So I saw this story in the list of stories that Dave gives me. He says, Joe, read through these and see what you like. And this one came up. And Dave's going to remember it. I'm sure Melissa's going to remember it too. It was well over 20 years ago that down at Duke University, where that woman accused the lacrosse players.
Yes.
Turns out the whole thing was a hoax. She lied through the whole thing. She's getting out of prison because a few years after that incident, she was convicted of murdering her boyfriend. Why she only got 10 years, I don't know, but I didn't follow the case.
Didn't know that she that happened afterwards. I didn't hear anything about that.
It was a 2013 murder conviction, and she got 10 years. Well, it's 2026.
Okay.
It's been 10 years. She's getting out.
Oh, hopefully she's rehabilitated.
And I bring it up only because, Dave, you remember Ron Makeley, and
I do.
Ron was a great congressperson, and then became president of Bryant University. And when the whole thing with Duke University was going on, they fired the lacrosse coach, and no one would talk to him. It was all hands off. You don't talk to this guy, except for Ron. Mm-hmm. Ron said, "Come up to Bryant University and coach our lacrosse team," and he said yes. And he coached there from 2007 to 2022 when he retired from there. And his name was Mike Pressler. And when the whole things came out, this is another great thing about Mike. When the whole thing came out that it was a hoax, Duke University and others in that league came back to him and said, "Oh, well, come on back. We want you back." And he basically told him to go pound sand.
Yeah.
I needed you 3 years ago.
Right.
And the only person
to be open-minded,
the only person that lent out a hand was
Mm-hmm.
Bryant University. He goes, I'm not leaving these guys. Well, he did.
So he was made a scapegoat for
yes,
the
he
whole,
was.
whole thing.
And so he stayed until 2022. He retired from Bryant University, but he moved on to bigger and better things. He's the head coach and general manager of the Atlas Lacrosse Club, which is a professional team in the Premier Lacrosse League. There's a professional lacrosse team up in Boston. I think they're the Cannonballs or the Cannons.
A professional lacrosse team.
There is.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I thought it was simply a collegiate game.
Boston has a team. I don't know if they play in the same league, but that's where he is now, head coach and GM up there. And so I was always impressed that Ron hired him when no one else would touch this guy or even talk to him. And I'm so glad Mike stayed as long as he did at Bryant University when the others came calling and probably offered him a ton of money to leave Bryant and come back. And he told them absolutely not. And one of the funniest things, Mike goes, I read that he went out, I don't know, first, second day he's taken over as the lacrosse team. And this is how he picked his players. Okay, we're going to run. And I forget, let's run 5 miles. And he's going to run with them. And who's ever behind me after the 5-mile run is cut. Now, they all think, this is going to be easy because I don't know what he was at the age at the time, 35, 40. This will be easy. Of course, he's out in front of all these kids. Uh-oh, this is going to be a challenge. And so that's how he picked you're gonna be in shape to play this game. So that's what they did. So
Joe-
good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Joe, our Attorney General Nerona and Governor McKee, General Assembly leadership, have issued a statement on the Roger Williams and Fatima Hospital matters. You'll recall that the legislature snapped to it and said, all right, you got all these money people that said, okay, yeah, we'll buy those bonds. However,
There's always a however.
we think the state should have some skin in the game. And so they said, tell you what, if the state has some skin in the game, then we'll buy those bonds and we'll help you finance the hospital.
So what kind of skin do they want?
They wanted some money.
Oh,
Money commitment.
Which we gave
The
them.
legislature did very quickly, working faster than most legislatures can possibly work.
It can actually happen,
It
folks.
can actually happen, right? Did approve of the $18 million. Basically, they co-signed the loan to cover the interest for a while. That's about $18 million they figured. So they co-signed the loan so that at least the investors would get their interest payments while if it failed and while they were trying to figure it out. So that's what happened. So wouldn't you know, all those guys that gave their word came up with the money. And now Centurion has come to the state and showed $100 million in financing. And they, of course, very, very grateful to the state for coming around and showing that kind of support. And it looks like the whole thing is going to close a week from today. Now, it was supposed to close by today, but when you get such a big and complicated thing, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, a little extra time is needed. Then you had the blizzard and everything else like that.
yeah.
So they're going to Texas. Nerona said, hey, Your Honor, that's he's talking to the federal bankruptcy court judge in Texas for this matter for the previous owner, the failed owner. He's saying, give us one more week because we've seen the documents. It's in writing now. It's going to happen. We need a few more days for the mechanism to come around and all the ink to dry, and then that's closing. And we appreciate if you give us another week. And they expect that the judge will say, I think there's a verbal that they'll say yes, but they'll sign off on the paperwork, and it'll be next Friday that they actually close. And this will be, well, when you avoid a big catastrophe, do you call it a happy ending? Well, I don't know.
I mean, it's
the
best possible outcome. If
My
you can say
takeaway-
best, I don't know. It's not the best, but
my takeaway is that I always had a very bad feeling about for-profit companies owning and running hospitals.
yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
I didn't care if they owned them, but running a hospital.
Right.
You see, because it's the operations of the hospital that we are all concerned about. We don't care who owns the real estate or the building or something like that. We care about who's operating it. And when for-profit companies come in, and worse than that, when ventured capital interests come in, now the wrong people are winning the game, in my personal
Yeah.
opinion. Now,
and the
there
winners
could be-
aren't going to be the patients.
there could be there could be exceptions to all of this, but when I see that, I have that reaction
Yeah.
based
Yeah.
on my
It's
personal
understandable.
beliefs and my experience. And this is what happened to these two hospitals. And now it looks like Centurion is a nonprofit that we'll get away from that commercial ownership of the hospitals, and I would have more confidence in their continued operation.
And I think if people locally here, these hospitals are saying, well, why did we bail them out $18 million? Why did we bail, two hospitals out? In
We didn't.
North Providence. We didn't. But also, I think it's important to note that vote was unanimous and bipartisan in both chambers, because think about it this way, if it were a local hospital like Landmark that serves our community, how vital that is. We know how vital Landmark is to our community. Those two hospitals are just as vital. Plus, if they close, who's going to take care of those patients in the overflow?
Miriam can't take it. They're over their heads.
Are they going to come to us? Like, where are these folks going to go to get their specialized care? It needed to happen. We can't let any of our hospitals in the state go under because we really
Newport Hospital's nice. It's a long drive, but it's
right.
It's nice to
like what
being facetious, of course.
No, I know. but-
$4 every time you go over the bridge.
That's right.
Right. Like, so what do these other folks do? So, understanding that because we are home to a hospital here in our community, how important it is to have the access to that care, especially for our older
I wonder if they
citizens.
charge ambulances to go over the bridge.
Well, it's all done by your
They
license
probably
plate
don't
now. So
get charged. I wouldn't buy it. No, I don't think so.
all right, Melissa.
That doesn't make sense.
Melissa,
I know.
No, we
It's
don't
a
need
serious
another. We
subject,
don't need
maybe I
another
shouldn't
law.
have
We
made
don't
light.
need another law. Okay.
But speaking of that, I always like to keep Melissa up to date on what other states are doing in case it shows up in the State House in Rhode Island. In Wisconsin,
Yeah.
there's a bill. They're proposing roadside drug testing. The proposal would allow law enforcement officers to use roadside oral fluid testing in suspected drug-impaired driving cases.
ACLU will shut that down.
Dane County Sheriff Calvin Barrett says deputies are encountering more cases involving drugs, including prescription medications, in addition to alcohol. Now, Milwaukee defense attorney Andrew Mishlove says expanding roadside testing raises constitutional questions because bodily samples are considered searches.
Yes.
Yeah.
The proposal is still in the early stages of the legislative process.
So are we talking about random stops and testing? Or are we saying like, this
guess be up-
person's driving erratically?
Be up to
because
the
of-
officer, I guess.
Right. It's the discretion of the officer.
Mm-hmm.
Or they just say, okay, we're going to have this stop here, and everybody that passes by, we're going to test them. Like that's not going to happen.
All righty. All right. We've all flown. I don't know. Has anyone flown into Tampa International Airport? I've never flown into Tampa.
No, never.
Yes.
Okay. Well, they're being kind of funny, but kind of serious on the same side. Tampa International Airport in Florida is setting its sights on another fashion faux pas. First, they were not outlawing, but they didn't want people wearing Crocs. But there's a larger crisis. So it was just today's
You don't say.
today's satirical social media post asked them to help ban pajamas at the airport, saying, "We've seen enough. We've had enough." It goes on to say, "We know this decision could be disruptive to someone in your life. It's time to have a difficult conversation with them. Help Tampa International Airport become the world's first Crocs-free and pajama-free airport."
This is satire, correct?
Well, yeah. Then I think the word to go out
there's a
is
hint of
stop,
truth to the
stop wearing this stuff to the airport.
Well, the Crocs, obviously, because TSA has you take your shoes off. So
Yeah.
if they're looking for something that's comfortable and you can whip your shoes off and on really
Yeah.
quick, I get that.
I don't have a big issue with
Pajamas,
Crocs.
I don't think I understand, even in Walmart. I
Well,
don't.
ahead
Well,
of the
especially like I can understand while traveling if you have an overnight flight, but like
they don't want adults wearing pajamas, is what it comes down to.
Right.
Ahead of last year's holiday travel season, the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, made a similar request about dressing better at the airport. In a
remember.
In a separate statement to the media, airport officials confirmed this was lighthearted and passengers can travel comfortably. So
you can wear, I don't know, yoga pants or whatever.
yeah,
Like,
that's okay.
as long as they're not like obviously like pink polka dot pajamas. I mean, what's the difference if you wear a sweatshirt and sweatpants?
First time I ever flown on an airplane, 1981. Oh, my mother, no jeans. We were flying on an airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy.
You're in public.
I had to put on the good chinos.
Yeah.
and a button-down shirt.
Yeah.
Because we were flying.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now it's anything goes on airplanes. I've seen just about, like you said, everything.
Yeah,
on
same.
airplanes now. And this guy, I don't know how he does it. He must be climbing fences. A stowaway is under arrest again. This time he was trying to sneak on board a plane from Newark to Italy.
Italy.
Yes, he was going overseas.
Upping his game now when you're going to international
Yeah,
borders.
yeah, that's
Svetlana Dali gained notoriety. He boarded a Delta flight from JFK to Paris without a ticket in November 2024. Dali, this is a woman in her late 50s, was found guilty last year and sentenced to time served. Authorities say she's now in custody in Milan. Oh, she made it.
she made it.
In Milan after allegedly slipping by the ticket agent at Newark Wednesday and boarded a United flight to Milan. She wasn't noticed until the flight was well underway. Dali is on supervised release and accused of trying to sneak on several other planes as well. So she's not going into the baggage compartment. She's actually getting on the plane.
Yeah, well, I mean, she wouldn't survive.
Well, right. I'll hang on to the wheel.
Yeah.
But
that
she's
person.
getting on
They'll
the plane
find you
and
frozen
just
when you come back.
I know.
Yeah, frozen.
But sitting down in a seat and then maybe no one will notice. I don't know how
do you
in the world you are
slip
getting by.
Bye.
I don't. No idea.
You have to scan, and then they actually look at you. Like,
and
I
they say,
fly quite a lot.
And they say, welcome.
Yeah.
Your name.
They say, okay, thank you, Melissa.
Come on in.
Like, they actually, yeah.
And you would think other passengers would say, hey, someone just snuck on the plane.
Think about it. When they're putting on the wheelchairs, when there's kids, somebody goes down the ramp, comes back up, you've got time to get down there, make it look like you're
And she's done it more than once, so she knows what she's doing. So
you got your cell phone in your hand. You figure, the other employee thinks that they scanned
someone
you
else
at the
scanned
door.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it happen.
She made it to Milan when they said, gotcha. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, that'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Today, we thank Mayor Chris Beauchamp for joining us today with great information what was going on in the blizzard. Melissa Murray, thanks for coming on in today.
Thank you for having me.
And we expect Rich Lane to join us next week. The ladies from the Chamber of Commerce will join us next week as well here in the Coffee and program. Dave Richards, thanks for being here.
Well, it's been a pleasure. And a lot of good topics on today's show, Joe. So I just remind you, if you missed any portion of the program, pick it up on demand at woonsockeradio.com, or we'll play it again for you Monday morning at 4 a.m. Don't be late.
All right. This is Joe Callahan. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew coming up after the 9 o'clock news here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC